What does forgiveness taste like? Okay, it's the Gospel Spice podcast. So we have to talk about,
Mm.
taste and see that the Lord is good. We always talk about food metaphors. So what does forgiveness taste like? And once you absorb it and digest it, how does it actually transform you?
It's a good question. I'm looking up a verse that I want to give you. um, so for me, I would say forgiveness, and maybe you'll recognize why I'm saying this. Forgiveness tastes like honey. And it's because I recognize that forgiveness is not something you owe anybody. Forgiveness is a free gift. It really is a way of paying off somebody's debt that they owe you because they have caused you pain in some terrible way. So they owe you a debt, and you decide to look at the debt and to write it off. That's essentially what's happening in the transaction of forgiveness, which means that their interaction isn't actually necessary. Like, you can forgive someone. So I was thinking about you saying that you and your dad haven't had the same story as me and my dad. But what I'll say is there were many years before my dad and I had a healthy relationship where I had to, if I wanted to function, had to find a way to forgive him. And his participation was not required for me to say to Christ, there's this debt my father owes me. I choose to write it off the way Christ writes off our debts. Um, but in so doing, I have thought a lot about this verse from scripture that is a riddle, interestingly enough, that was told by the most violent of the judges in scripture. You know
Yep.
what I'm talking
I know where
about,
you're
right?
going. Yep.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Samson is this judge we all grew up learning about in Bible school, and how he was so violent and so angry. And there's this great scene where he kills this lion with his bare hands, and it appeals to my South African heart, right? Because I'm from South Africa. I grew up with family that hunted big game and hunted lions. I have all kinds of crazy lion hunt stories I could tell you. Um, but he hunts this lion and he kills it. And weeks later, he's passing by and he discovers that bees have actually made a nest in the carcass of the lion. And he has this line. It's from Judges 14:14. It's a riddle, he says. And he says that out of the eater, something to eat, out of the strong, something sweet. And it's this riddle about how life and sweetness can come out of death and decay. So for me, honey is this flavor of forgiveness, like something that where life came out of something that was once dead, something beautiful that can sustain you, that isn't just sustenance, but it's actually sweet. Like, forgiveness is so unexpected, so undeserved. It isn't like meat and potatoes.